Welcome back, fellow wanderers. We talked about the fundamental gap between collecting static knowledge and developing true understanding. But today, we're taking that a step further. Most of us spend our lives trapped inside a rigid left brain construct, a prepackaged version of reality handed down to us as his story. We mistake the bureaucrat's map for the actual living landscape. Today, we're breaking down the Sovereign Pivot, how to step out of the left brain matrix, activate right-hemispheric inquiry, and move from blind compliance to genuine Gnosis. Let's step into the archives and explore.
Human consciousness constantly toggles between two distinct states. We have the zero, the living, breathing context of actual understanding, and the one, the static data points of mere knowledge. But conflict arises when we take that living, contextual reality and force it into a rigid, measurable box. This impulse to package reality creates his story. It is a top-down, institutional narrative built to convince you that the rigid one is the entire truth, because a predictable reality makes for manageable human behavior. True history functions as an open-ended, experiential process of exploring the territory yourself. It leads toward Gnosis, a direct, non-verbal realization of the world that exists beyond prepackaged answers. Escaping the confines of this narrative requires looking past social structures and into a specific flaw within our own brain architecture. Examining the way we process reality reveals the path from a specific neurological imbalance in the individual to the collective operating system of an entire civilization. The mechanics of this shift are documented by psychiatrist Ian McGilchrist. His research establishes that our two brain hemispheres aren't just doing different tasks, they are experiencing two entirely different versions of reality. The right hemisphere, or the master, provides a holistic, flexible synthesis of the world, keeping us connected to a living environment that is constantly in flux. The left hemisphere is the emissary. It functions as a specialized bureaucratic tool designed to zoom in, categorize, and measure. The internal crisis begins when the emissary oversteps its role and usurps the master. The analytical left brain attempts to freeze vibrant, organic reality into a sterile, mechanical virtual world. This dominance prioritizes abstract rules and models over actual lived experience. It severs our connection to the physical world, leaving us with a simulation of life rather than the thing itself. We lose touch with the actual territory and live entirely within the limitations of a drawn map. This neurological pattern repeats at the scale of human history. Historian Yuval Noah Harari describes how human cooperation relies on imagined orders. These shared myths, like nations, laws, and money, originally functioned as flexible tools that allowed large groups of strangers to cooperate. Over time, left brain rigidity captured these imagined orders, twisting them from cooperative survival strategies into rigid hierarchies of institutional control. This control is maintained through a fog of forgetfulness. Those in power constantly rewrite these rigid myths to ensure the masses view current social engineering as an inevitable truth. Modern society uses these structures to force the organic zero of human nature into the engineered one of societal compliance. His story is effectively a captured imagined order, a left brain system designed to suppress individual sovereignty and maintain total predictability. Reclaiming your perception requires executing the Sovereign Pivot. This is the process of moving beyond the emissary's rigid definitions to restore your own internal authority. Most attempt to find peace through stillness, building a rigid life that eventually snaps under the weight of external force. True stability is found in dynamic balance, a state of active readiness where continuous motion provides the equilibrium. This is achieved through the observer state, where you separate the acting I from the witnessing me. By observing your own fluctuations without judgment, you make the continuous microcorrections necessary to maintain your center. In this state, you function as a social checksum. You become a human backup drive, protecting true generational memory against the distortions of those who would rewrite history. An diminished self reacts blindly to external pressure, while a sovereign self navigates that same pressure through the quiet, holistic mastery of the right hemisphere. While our public work focuses on identifying these systems of control, the practical implementation of these protocols occurs in a more focused environment. Stepping out of his story is the first step toward actualizing your true will. The methodology and the deeper practice of the Sovereign Protocol continue inside the vault.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a fellow wanderer who might be ready to ask the question. Until next time, stay limber, abide, and keep wandering.